Hey, everybody. Welcome to Are We There Yet? From CryptoSapiens. I'm your host, Chris Eberle. Although you cannot see them, I assure you that I have three very special guests today. And we're going to talk about internet culture. We're going to talk about memes. We're going to talk about connecting URL to IRL. We're going to talk about Elon Day, ElonRWA, FeistyDAO, NFT, all this stuff and more. Really excited to get into this stuff with you guys. So thank you for coming on. Let's do some quick intros so we can get to know the men behind the memes. Louis, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, right. My name is Louis. I'm part of the Elon DAO project. And before starting about that, I started in my crypto journey through FeistyDAO. It's where I got to know Ultron, Rafa, and one of our good friend called Lil Dojo. And he's the one actually who got in touch with Watchy Boy, who is behind the meme of Elon, I drew you. And it all started like that. And once Dojo contacted him, he got to buy this piece of art, the NFT version that was released on Reddit 5 years ago in 2019. And attached to that, there is the physical drawing that he brought over. And we tokenized it so that anybody can own a part of this internet culture meme slash phenomenon. And since then, yeah, we launched that and we're having fun. So in a nutshell, I'm part of Elon DAO and also working with my friend at FeistyDAO, but the other one will be able to talk more about it.
Awesome. Great to have you on. And yeah, I know we connected. I think in one way or another through the Own the Doge team, who I've known for a long time through Pleaser DAO, and then a bunch of work with those guys. And obviously we had Try Dog and Smoke on this show just a couple of weeks back. And so, yeah, the idea of fractionalized memes and building community around them and doing like having a real world impact is near and dear to my heart. So it's awesome to get into that with you guys today. Rafa, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Rafa. I'm from Brazil originally. I'm a mathematician by trade. And I've been riding this crypto roller coaster since 2016. My wife introduced it to me, and it has been fun. I met NFD not as early as Ultron, but quite early, and have been working with them ever since.
Awesome. Yeah, and we were chatting in our prep for this episode, but I think I've mentioned in previous episodes of this show, I definitely have on other podcasts, but my wife grew up in Brazil. I've been to Brazil, I think 14 times, a lot of times. My Portuguese is nowhere near as good as it should be for the amount of time I've spent in Brazil and married to a Brazilian, but alas. But it was actually one of her brothers, who is Brazilian, who got me into crypto in same time frame, 2016, and really 2017 is kind of when I really jumped in. But a topic for another time, but very interesting, the sort of relationship with tech and innovation in Brazil. And this sort of, I don't know, it's sort of this really interesting kind of dichotomy of, I think the people there are in a lot of ways, like more so than other countries, hungry for innovation, willing to try new things. Obviously, from a currency perspective, there's some further motivation to find more stability and those kind of things. But I've just always found working with Brazilian people, Brazilian users, Brazilian builders to be really inspiring. At the same time, the Brazilian government is super interesting and a bit surveillance-y, a bit China-y at times. But anyways, a topic for another time. But I love meeting everybody, but I especially love meeting Brazilians. So bom dia and welcome. Actually, bom tarde, because you're in Europe, I think, right? But today, but welcome to the show.
Thank you. Muito obrigado.
All right, and Ultron, great to have you on, sir. I know we heard a little bit from from Louis on a little bit of the history, but yeah, why don't we give you a twofer? Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then maybe set the stage for listeners about how this all ties together, or what these different sort of acronyms and names and DAOs are that we've been mentioning so far on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having us. It's a great opportunity to be able to talk about these things. I'm Ultron. I am the community manager for NFD and FeistyDAO. I've been there, probably, we were joking about this earlier, maybe not day one, but probably day 2 or 3. And it's something that we're all very passionate about. Basically, to really break it down really quickly, our founder, CryptoPathic, is a legend in the space. He had bid on the Feisty Doge NFT, which is one of the original Zora pictures of the Doge. The Doge's owner, Atsuko Sato, had taken these original photos. She had auctioned them off, and one of them, the Feisty Doge, was won by Path. Another was won by Own the Doge. You had spoken about them. I know you had them on your podcast recently with Smoke and Try Dog. So the idea behind that is really, as and as you mentioned that you've been in crypto for some time, we see the value of Doge, right? But it doesn't actually have anything to do with the actual picture, right? They just kind of took the name and they co-opted that. And the idea behind this is, what if we took the actual NFT of one of these pictures and created a token from it by tokenizing it? What would the market see on that? How would the market value that? And kind of taking that idea of provenance and being able to trace something back to its origin, especially in a space where you see a lot of copies of a lot of different things. And that was the idea. And since then, we've been on a mission to collect as many historical digital objects and culturally significant memes that we could. Things like Keyboard Cat, Drowning Kid, the Giga Chad. I mean, we've added all of these things to our treasury. Holding NFT gives you exposure to those things. But this idea fascinates us and it pushes us forward. And the idea for ElonRWA was an extension of this. So for Feisty, we took a meme and we said, what if we take this meme, this very popular meme, this culturally significant meme, and we fractionalized it? And how would the market react to that? For Elon, it's a little different. And Louis spoke about this a little bit. This is a physical drawing that exists in the real world that became a meme online. What if we tokenized a real world asset with the same idea and bring that to the market? And kind of the idea for all of this is that we're passionate about the space. We're just passionate about the culture involved in this. This is the passion of all of our guys. And it's just the idea to bring meme culture to as many eyes as we can. And how can we blur the line between IRL art and digital art? And I think when you do that, you can start bringing people together and start having the conversations you need to bring this a little bit more mainstream and to bring more eyes and more people onto this and into crypto in general. And that's the idea behind this. And that was the idea behind Elon Day and everything that we've done since.
Amazing. Thank you for that. And yeah, a bunch of things sort of came to mind as you were talking, but one of them was the FeistyDAO gallery within OpenSeason. That's sort of this sort of beautiful place within the game where people can go see so many of these culturally significant memes that you mentioned, including ElonRWA. But I know there's more to come on that. But it's I find it's one of the great sort of connection points for people to sort of experience these memes in different ways and sort of see how they come together. And then a random side note on that, we can move on. But I've heard that some people actually use the studio space for what do you call it, for kill harvesting in the game. For they have the matches where you're like collecting beans and trying to get a good kill to death ratio. And I think they have people are sort of gaming it by using the gallery, but that'll probably get addressed. But I also just love the idea that a bunch of people are going in and hanging out in the in the gallery and seeing all the memes. So fun stuff. Well, cool. So let's get into Elon Day. Let's get sort of into how that came together. I know when I've been talking to folks the last couple of days about recording this episode with you guys. My sort of litmus test with more normie people is like, hey, did you see that thing that trended a couple of weeks ago where there was this like massive statue of like an Elon bust that kind of gave it was kind of reminiscent of that like Cristiano Ronaldo kind of weird looking bust, and these guys had it behind a CyberTruck, and you see this thing trending, and more often than not people are like, yeah, that's crazy. Like, what was that? Who are those guys? It's like, well, I have those guys coming on to the podcast. And so, keep in mind sort of that audience, maybe of people that don't know a lot about the things we've been talking about so far here, but maybe saw that thing trending. Tie it all together, like, for those folks, like, how did this thing, Louis or Rafa, maybe one of you guys wants to take this, but, how did we go from, the art, like both the online and the physical art, to this like crazy thing that you guys made happen in Texas a couple of weeks ago?
Yes, it's the story is quite long, but and fun at the same time. The bird didn't want to join
That's perfect, man. Special guest. What's the bird's name?
Yeah, it's Kiwi. My brother rescued some animals when they're injured, and he took care of this parrot named Kiwi, and she's pretty talkative. Yeah.
I love it. Welcome to the show, Kiwi. And Louis, it's good to know that your brother does some good things, because I've heard he's not the best hairstylist in the world.
Yeah. It shows the best battle is to rescue animal and not to rescue his brother. So that's my job, actually, to take care of him. I'm the oldest one.
Okay. Well, that's good. Sounds like reasonable prioritization. I like animals. I think everybody on this show does.
Yeah. So yeah, the story behind all this, the line is, as Ultron explained, we are the first meme coin / real world asset, having this tangible underlying, and we've been talking all together, all the DAO, talking together, thinking like, how can we bring this meme in real life and to have more impact? And so we started talking in the Discord all together, and we have this friend Talex saying, "Oh, maybe we should display the face of this famous meme on the way to SpaceX, so that all the employee and even Elon Musk could be exposed to that, and it could be a fun way to make a joke and to bring it back to this virality, because it got very, very famous on X, because back in the days, even Elon commented this famous meme saying like it's looking in a mirror. So we wanted just to get back and say hi to Elon in a way, and that was a great idea. And keeping thinking about it, we were like, okay, maybe we can find a more a long-term position of this meme. And we've been looking online, and SpaceX, going around SpaceX was for us like a right place in real life to have exposure for this meme. And we checked like the next city next to SpaceX is called Brownsville. And we checked online about the city, about the art scene. And it happened that the city is very dynamic and organized lots of mural downtown. Also some mural representing Elon, the space, because the region is developing and create a job around that. So we pushed the idea to think, okay, let's do a mural in Brownsville. So that's how I got there, because back in the days I was maybe the only one available to go to Brownsville. So I've been there and talking with the people, doing research, prospection, where to find a place to make a mural. I tried to get more closer and closer to SpaceX, and it's where we found a wall, a place for the wall to build, actually. So when you go to SpaceX and you pass the checkpoint, there is now a 20 feet tall wall when there is this representation of the meme. And it was right before last rocket launch. And it kind of went viral. And with our friend, we're like, okay, we have at disposal this area where we made a partnership with the landowner to display this mural, and we were like, okay, why not making a statue of this meme too? Could be fun. So that's how the other project started being developed. And so we managed to find a manufacturer in the US, and the idea was to display the statue. And before we wanted to put the statue near this wall, we thought about making some videos. So we received the statue, which is quite big too. Don't really have the dimension in mind. You remember, Rafa, how big is the statue?
It's 9 feet tall.
Yes, 9 feet tall.
That's pretty big.
It's pretty big, yeah. And we received it in the beginning of August in Brownsville. And so when we received it, we decided to make a tour and to make some video shots around the city. And actually, when we displayed the statue on the trailer and with the CyberTruck to make some videos, everybody was stopping at the red light. Everybody in the street started taking picture, waving at us. Some other were giving us middle fingers. It was different approach. So it's starting being on the socials, and we didn't expect that. We knew that we wanted to make something fun and to make people react about it, but it got bigger than expected, and we got millions of views on videos, people sharing it, people commenting in positive way and negative way also. But it's part of art also sometimes, is to create reaction and people to talk about it. And it was funny because lots of people don't know about this meme story, so we were being criticized about the representation of the portrait, that it was poorly drawn and they don't know about the story behind, and it's all about this joke. And so that's how it became viral, and we got even interview from local TV, something more national. Even we saw recently newspaper in India, video in China, and it got we were just like shooting, and it became a phenomenon.
Yeah, it was awesome to see. To see it show up on in so much sort of mainstream news and social. I know you just touched on this, but you mentioned in our when we spoke the other day, this sort of kind of a fun parallel, right, between like the comments that the original drawing got back in the day, and then for some people that were experiencing this for the first time, IRL, some sort of fun parallel with like what the heck, what the heck is this thing, and a sort of a mix of reactions for a whole host of reasons, right?
Yeah, and especially the comparison with the Cristiano Ronaldo statue is pretty fun, because Cristiano Ronaldo was not intentional, the artist, and we are actually good friends with the artist that did the Cristiano Ronaldo statue. But anyway, the artist didn't mean to do a bad statue. He did the best he could, but we intentionally did something that was supposed to be fun, that was supposed to mock a little bit the whole figure of Elon. And people, the reaction was not the best online. A lot of negative comments, but like you said, the reaction was very similar to the reaction that the original drawing got. So I guess we accomplished the mission to do a good representation of the drawing in a way.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like it held true to that, and yeah, I mean given the sort of, this event is really, it's the intersection of a lot of things that people have strong feelings about, right? From Elon himself, right? He's a pretty increasingly polarizing figure, right? With everything that's gone on with him and Twitter or X and politics and the rest of it, right? People have strong feelings about Elon. People have strong feelings about crypto. I know I saw when this was trending on, I can't help but still call it Twitter. I'm just going to call it Twitter. Not that I have any issue with the name X, whatever, but I just can't help it. Too many years of trained as Twitter. But when it was trending on the platform formerly known as Twitter, like some people in comments were like, this is don't engage with this. It's some crypto bullshit scam or whatever, right? Which it's obviously not, but you can't blame people for having a reaction, right? Because that's, like it or not, right? And we all deal with this in the space, but like the brand of crypto is not fantastic in a lot of people's eyes. So people are sort of understandably skeptical, right? Given everything that's gone on with, FTX to rug pulls to, so whatever, like just relentless scammers sort of orbiting around this stuff, people are skeptical. So, so then you guys come with a 9-foot representation of like all of this stuff and sort of multiplied by the power of memes in person. To me it seems like you handle the sort of negativity really well, where it's like, hey, I mean, this is like you said, Louis, this is like, art is meant to get a reaction. You can't always control what that reaction is. It'll be a mix of good and bad, and there's a lot of attention to come. And then I know you guys had told me before, this also sparks a lot of curiosity about what this all means, and opens up the opportunity for you to talk more about art, about things happening on chain, and these kind of things. And I wonder if we can go there. And yeah, I don't know, maybe for one of you guys that was there in Texas, but would love to hear about that, like maybe some examples of curiosity or questions about whatever, about blockchain, crypto, NFTs, any of these kind of things. And by the way, and we'll add some visuals to this later, but I was just pulling up for folks as a reminder to myself where the heck Brownsville, Texas is. Because in my head, it was like, oh, that's probably near El Paso because it's near the Mexican border. But Texas being as massive as it is, Brownsville is very close to the Mexican border for our viewers, but like still along the Gulf of Mexico. So like way along the sort of the furthest point west within Texas that is still along the almost at the water in the Gulf of Mexico. So way down there, like sort of past Corpus Christi down into there, where actually if you were to drive then straight northwest to El Paso, it's like 12-hour drive. Texas is so massive, but Brownsville right down there. So really interesting. And then another quick side note, and then I'll stop talking and get over to our guests. But for some reason, another recurring theme in this podcast is Texas. Just happened to whatever. Just like this is like the third or fourth episode, I think, where something Texas related has come up. But my daughter Victoria just started her freshman year at the University of Texas at Austin, which is exciting in a whole bunch of ways, including that I have a nice excuse to go to a great city in Austin more often. But yeah, I actually recorded an episode of this podcast in Austin a couple of weeks ago. But anyways, always Texas connections. But so back to the sort of the intersection of all these things and the skeptics and the questions and all that. I wonder, maybe Rafa or Louis, one of you guys, or whoever wants to jump in, but about that stuff, like curiosity that you see around crypto, blockchain, and maybe some of the conversations with folks, skeptics or otherwise, that you are able to have on the ground.
Yes. That's a fact that as a new industry and by essence is decentralized in the blockchain world, we got some bad news about scams, and that's a fact. And to come back, what you were saying, how the people were perceiving our project, and I guess in every project, every industry that is new, you have these guys who try to build with the real fundamentals, and that's why we are also based on the provenance thesis, and it's our core value when we address new projects. So we want to make sure like the token we proposed as a fraction of famous art has been validated, in a sense like when you go to a museum, you have experts trying to check who has been the creator, where it has been transferred from owner to owner, to be able to trace the origin and to testify it's a real piece of art, not a copy. And it's what we do, and especially Ultron will be able to talk, with FeistyDAO. So we know we are in this industry where people are very skeptical because so many people are doing projects that are lying, but we are the good guy, let's say, the good cop, trying to put in place like credits to team with values, and it's what we were doing with Elon Day. And very very fast, when we make this big wall, I will send you some picture, Chris, about this big wall that we
Yeah.
made near the statue where it will be displayed with the statue. It's to bring attention to this new form of art, to the blockchain, and to be able to explain, educate people. And it's what we did during Elon Day. We gathered people from the region, obviously not crypto. Many people were not crypto early adopters. Even now, they don't have any token. They know about centralized exchange, but decentralization and all the movement behind, and fractionalization, it's something that they've never heard about. And we were happy with Rafa to talk about it. And the questions were very legitimate. And we think, like, through this action we do in real world, and show how you can take part in the meme culture, and show you that it's safe when you know the right people and do your own research. And we are helping people to onboard them. And it's also one of our mission. And when we've been doing the Elon Day on the 25th of August, right after all our project, to invite local artists, local entrepreneur, and anybody who wanted to join to learn. Everybody was very happy to talk to us, and uh, we received lots of interesting questions, and we felt like people were enthusiastic. And the way they got our message, we could feel like they were happy to talk to somebody real, physical in the space, which is remain also very blurry to them. They just know scam, and it's online on a screen, and they don't see the tangibility of that behind. I think it needs to have human approach and people with legitimacy. So yeah, we were happy to have this Elon Day to celebrate with people at Pluton Brewery, and I have to select the local scene. It's been very, very welcoming, very nice. Of course, there were some people, unhappy, but we are open for debate, and it's the whole point of it. We have no problem about it. You say, like, you guys seems to be very positive in these old tornadoes and twist around you. But yes, because what we do has value, as provenance validation, and we are trying to raise more awareness about the blockchain, and we are very positive about doing good every day, like the on the Doge friend is the motto of the OGE. So yeah, so we don't mind. We keep developing, and anybody who is skeptical, we are happy to also discuss.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love it,
and
man. I think that's. I think it's a really good. Sorry, Hoffa, we'll go to you in just one sec. But yeah, I feel like this is the way, right? You've got the intersection of literally meeting people where they are. So you're like, here I am, come talk to me. In a real, open, not defensive, like, let's have a conversation way. It's sort of, I think there are some folks in this space that get that and are doing that, and are doing it well. And I feel like the more people can understand that, for a new industry, it's also massive and literally decentralized and very diverse in terms of the kinds of things people are working on. And like anything else, there is massive chunks of really good people building interesting things in a whole bunch of different ways that people can get involved with, and not all of it is get rich quick I don't know, gambling things or scammy things or all of these things. But yeah, I think just approaching that was just by being decent people that are there to sort of get to know folks, I think is the way. But sorry, Hoffa, you were going to jump in. Go for it.
yeah, so just to add a little bit to what Louis said, we try very hard since the beginning to not sound like a shield initiative. We didn't want to sell tokens. We wanted to bring exposure to this NFT, bring exposure to the blockchain technology. And what was really fun in Brownsville was, of course, we had a 9-foot statue, we had a massive 20-foot wall, but most of the questions, most of the conversation that we had was about blockchain, was about tokenization, was about value of money, value of crypto. So I was personally expecting people to be more interested about the statue itself, and less about blockchain and NFTs, but it was the opposite. People were much more interested in what was behind all these fancy things, this statue, this wall.
That's super encouraging to hear, right? And it's I've found the last couple of times that I've been to events, sort of bigger events, like earlier this year, like I went to FarCon in LA and in Venice, and I was at ETH Denver and a bunch of other smaller events. But at both of those sort of bigger ones, some of the most interesting conversations that I had were with people that were not at the event, that were adjacent to it, that were like curious about this group of people, or who were the Uber drivers that I had, right? And getting their take on all these things and seeing what they're curious about. And it's I think sort of similarly, like the curiosity that I saw from folks that were coming around those spaces and spectacles was like, what is this all about? Like, what are you guys working on? And I think it's probably not a coincidence that they see a bunch of people that seem like they're having fun, have all gathered together from this is a super international thing, right? Like, you guys gathered in Brownsville, Texas, but you came from other spots around the globe, right? It's like bigger than any one sort of market. So I think there's it's encouraging to see that in the context of skepticism and all the other stuff, there's also just a lot of curiosity, a lot of opportunity. But pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about what's next. You guys had this big moment a couple of weeks ago, and this thing is trending. Like, where do you go from here? Like, I guess big picture and little picture. If you've got alpha to drop, drop it. But yeah, would love to get an idea of sort of what you guys are cooking up.
Yeah, lots of project ongoing and for the future. So we think about doing a tour, a parade with the statue. So we were supposed to install it right away after receiving it and doing the video shot, but it got so crazy that we thinking like, okay, we have to bring the statue in other cities, right? So that people can see it and keep talking about it. So in the coming weeks, we decided to take the statue in other cities. So you guys will hear about it, I'm sure. I'm going to with Rafa also to bring the physical portrait of this ElonRWA meme to MemeCon in Singapore. So we think about doing a world tour also to show this portrait, the tangible asset around. So we'll do a quick tour. We have artists in the NFT industry contacting us from different parts of the world to do exhibition with them. So we have touch in Mexico, in Australia. Me too, also being French. I have some friends now in Paris contacting us to do similar in real life events in that matter. We also think, and we are putting that just the beginning of thoughts, where we want to take part in charity events, more in deep. So we are just starting developing that. So it's very, very new, but we're thinking about it. and that's all the big line I can talk about. But then we keep having project with other communities that we are very in line with regarding this provenance thesis, such as On the Doge, who are very good friends, Stray Dog and Smoke, who we work together with, and also with FeistyDAO. Also, we these are communities we really work with, and yeah, more things to come in the future with them.
Amazing. Yeah, and so much goodness, I think, coming from those communities. I was going to say, Ultron, every time I see Path tweeting that FeistyDAO's made a bid for another meme, I get excited just in a bunch of ways. And Path's just a good dude and a legend that's been around, and I think has been one of the great bridges between these communities. Right, these are all communities that in crypto could very easily have been like sort of different tribes like against each other, right? Like we see that happen, it's just whatever. It's what humans do. It's certainly what crypto humans can do. And yet, like Louis just listed off, these are like multiple, big communities of people that are all like aligned and friends and looking for awesome points to do collaborations. I've done a bunch of collaborations, so it kind of I just wanted to say it kind of warms the heart to see all of y'all being collaborative and sort of leaning into getting doing more good together. And then I was just going to ask Ultron, like what's next for FeistyDAO? Where what any previews of things to come?
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that about Path. Path is a very good friend of mine. When I started, I didn't intend to work in crypto at all and to do any of this. I just wanted to be a part of something. When I joined FeistyDAO, I just wanted to I wanted to see Path. I wanted to watch him create something he was passionate about in a passion project. And you spoke about it earlier about how a lot of people from the outside have this impression of crypto as being scammy. And in a lot of ways, sometimes that's true, right? You do go out there and you do see a lot of people that are out to rug you, a lot of scammers. I mean, that's true, right? Crypto has been the Wild West sometimes. But I think when you see people like Path and the good that he's done, I think he shows that things can be different. And I think if you look at his history and the projects he's been involved with, I think it speaks to that. And I think with the project with FeistyDAO, we're in that vein, right? Like he's our North Star for that. And it's attracted other talented people that feel the same way about the space. And I think that's our biggest advantage. And as we've built this out, we've just added more of these really talented, like-minded people who are just passionate about this industry in the best way and want to share that with other people. And that's what we want to do with FeistyDAO. When we're building things in Brownsville, to us, that's a monument to meme culture and what we do. And we think that this meme culture is the best of the space. And when we build things out there, and you had mentioned a little bit earlier, it gets people talking. And we want to be able to get people back to tell them the benefits of blockchain tech and the benefits of this space, and not just in a number go up way, but in a functional way for society. You can see guys like Larry Fink are now on CNBC, saying the things that we probably said to our friends back in 2016 about Bitcoin, right? Digital gold. And they all laughed. Well, you can't hold it. Can I go to Walmart and buy something with that? Ha ha, it's not real. People are having those same conversations about NFTs now, right? It's not a physical thing. I can't hold it. I'll right click and save. Ha ha. And so we're in the same boat with those things. And I think for a group like us to have the opportunity to be able to have these conversations with people that might not know as much about it and be able to share these things with them is a huge benefit, not just for us, but I think for the space at large. So we'll continue to do that. We're going to continue to work on doing that, finding like-minded groups like Own the Doge, who we'll continue to work with, and try to bring that to as many people as we can. And the best way forward for us is to do fun things because they're fun and because people can enjoy them. And I think that'll benefit the space at large.
Well said. One thing that came to mind as all you guys were talking, has Elon himself, have we heard from him in these last few weeks?
No, but it definitely got a word about it. There is no doubt. All his co-worker going to SpaceX pass in front of the wall we made, and they all locally they were exposed to the statue videos and I'm personally convinced that he's been exposed to that, but I cannot
I'm sure.
be 100% sure. But there is no way he can't. He doesn't know. But he's a pretty busy man, and but I know he has lots of humor, and I'm sure in the future when he'll be a bit more relaxed, depending his schedule, he'll drop by and. We also had the chance to meet local people involved in the city, involved in association around who knows his brother Kimball,
Yeah.
and people around him. So I'm sure he got to be exposed. But we are in a moment where, with the rocket launch, what's going on X, and the presidential is pretty busy these days.
Yeah, for sure. He's got a couple of things to do, a couple of companies to run.
Yeah.
If you could, if you could send him a message and you know, I don't know, an invitation to come, you know, come get involved, or I don't know, a calling card of what you guys are all about, what would you, excuse me, what would you say to Elon if you could send him a message? If we can get a message to Elon, what would you say?
Oh, good question. I mean, we would be happy to talk with him about the blockchain industry and NFT. And I know he's been making jokes also about NFTs, and it's going to be a fun and interesting exchange to talk about it with him, because from what I could understand is he has a funny position towards NFTs, but also since he's also have this big experience into payment system, obviously, with his previous companies, and he knows the power of blockchain, the power of meme. He was the one saying who control the meme, control the universe. So we are we are in line with him with many ways, and maybe it's going to be fun to talk about it, and so that he can see himself in the mirror in real life if we bring this portrait that he's been aware of. And I'm sure he's gonna love to see it in his eyes, and to see it is gonna be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Rafa or Ultron, anything you would add here? Any message to Elon?
I think I'll say that he looks much better than the statue. So please don't take it personal. It's a joke. It's a meme. It's supposed to be shared. It's supposed to be laughed at. So yeah, don't take it too serious.
I think it looks just like him. It's like looking in the mirror. I would tell him it looks exactly like him, and that he should change his profile picture on Twitter to the Elon I Drew You image and keep it there. I think if I was to talk to him, I think I would tell him, or at least what I would want to discuss with him is just internet culture in general and how important Twitter is to that, and social media in general. And I think for him, with as big of a voice as he has, I'm sure he's interested in that subject. You know, whether he discusses it with us or not, you know, I don't know, but I'm sure he's interested in that subject. And I would love to talk to him about that and the future of Twitter, and what that can actually play, as far as at the part that can play as far as being that town square for everyone, and how important that is. So I mean, I think that would be the case, and that would be what I'd want to speak with him about. And yeah, and change your profile picture at least for a day. He did the Doge for a day. I think it'd be cool to do Elon I Drew You.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, I was chatting with the devs on Open Season the other day, and when I had mentioned that I was in touch with you guys and we're going to be doing this episode, and you know, there's obviously the teams are connected, and the image is already in the game in a way, and then obviously there's ideas of further things that we can do, so hopefully there's more to come there. But I also, we were chatting, like, it would be amazing if that was a playable character, right? If you could play as that likeness of Elon in Open Season, and just picture, like, 5 people all playing as Elon, all dancing on one thing or dancing around the statue or whatever. I feel like it would be part of a fun sort of invitation to for folks to come be a part of it. So maybe something to work on.
Would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be great. We love open season. I'm terrible at it because I'm just not like a keyboard and mouse like player. So I'm just awful. So I'm sure like people watching me see the game like running into walls and like strafing around walls instead of turning around and stuff is embarrassing. But the game is fantastic. We would love to do that. I think just the idea of for open season, like being able to bring NFTs into that world and kind of bring like your digital personality in there the way people do as far as like an ape or my Retro Doge is actually the one that's in the game to represent Retro Doges.
Oh, that's yours. So that's amazing.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, that's as close to fame as probably I'm ever gonna get. Is my Doge in open season, but I'll take it. I'll definitely take that. And the game is great. We would love to do more with that. I love what they're doing, and I think the barrier they broke down, like getting that put on the Epic Game Store, was a huge, huge win for the industry. Like in general, I thought. So they're incredibly talented devs. It's been great to be a part of that, and looking forward to what they do in the future.
Right on. Yes, and I think more to come. Certainly from those guys, but I think also specifically with the collaboration between y'all and them, and yeah, I think again there's a sort of like-minded approach, right, of meeting people where they are, and yeah, like just go to the Epic Game Store and play a game. If you want to come do the on-chain stuff, cool, we'll make that easy for you as well. But yeah, it's just another example of the power of memes. So well, cool, man. I think definitely more to come there. All right, well we've been jamming. We've been 46 minutes and change here. Time flies when you're talking about fun stuff. I will ask you guys a two-part closing question. One, any final thoughts, and then two, what are the best ways for people to get in touch with you, with your teams, to participate these kinds of things? We can do a quick around the horn. So final thoughts, and then ways to get in touch. Louis, want to start with you?
Oh yeah, so if you guys want to talk with us or see more about our updates and news and what we develop, you can follow us on X on the handle ElonRWA. And you can also join our Discord where we are linked with FeistyDAO. So I think like Ultron also can explain more about that to reach, because we are very intrigued and do many things with FeistyDAO.
Yeah, absolutely. You can. We have a lot of things brewing. We have a pretty interesting announcement coming for FeistyDAO actually, pretty soon. Don't have a specific time to it, but pretty soon. You can follow us at NFD Token. You can join our Discord where we talk about all of these things. We have a meeting every Wednesday with Path. All of us sit down and talk about not just the future of our DAO, but the market in general and the space in general and the things we want to see. I think just even that is an incredible opportunity. I mean, like just to be able to sit down with Path and talk about those things, right, is a very cool thing, and it's a very cool benefit of our community. But yeah, I mean, you can follow us at ElonRWA. We have some pretty cool things cooking there, and we're building another thing out in Brownsville. We have a little surprise out there that we'll be able to talk about and show pretty soon.
Amazing. All right, Rafa, we'll pass to you. Any final thoughts or any other contact methods you want to mention?
I think they cover pretty well the contact method, but let me finish with a thought, because something we didn't discuss very deeply. I've been asked a lot about what makes provenance tokens so special, and in my mind, in my opinion, of course, this represents one of the first times, if not the first, where we are truly creating a brand new market that couldn't exist without blockchain. In my mind, we've seen three major trends in blockchain. First, with legacy coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, which were revolutionary and foundational for what followed. But essentially, they were the centralized version of something that already existed, which is digital money. Then came DeFi, which again was groundbreaking, but it created a decentralized version of products that had existed in traditional finance. Finally, we had NFT-backed art, representing the centralized version of digital art market. So also pre-existent. But provenance tokens are different because memes are by nature meant to be shared. And before blockchain, before this technology existed, these technologies that guarantee proof of originality, it was impossible to monetize them. So with blockchain, with DLTs, backed memes create a kind of a new paradigm where these originality can be proven and monetized. So, like I said, it's a whole new market that couldn't exist without blockchain.
Amazing. Well said. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much. We'll include, when this episode goes out, we'll include links to all the things. So have no fear. Folks will know where to find you online and on chain. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate that we got in touch to do this episode, and I appreciate you guys coming on. And yeah, like I said before, I think it's awesome to see these these like-minded groups of people get together and work on these things, and I think it gives me a just increasing amount of confidence that we're really making a dent in the way that things work, technology, art, culture, within our lifetime. So it's pretty awesome to see you guys working on the things that you're working on and doing it in a way that it has some fun. I think has a really I think humble, sincere approach to meeting people where they are. So yeah, really appreciate all you guys. Really good to chat with you today, and look forward to sharing this episode out with the world. Thank you all.
Thank you very much for having us. You have a great day. Thank you.